Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel on ADHESIVES Design. Jennifer, I feel a bit foolish that I forgot to pre-tape and schedule the video for the first Monday in April for your hashtag Ephemera Madness 24. And I'm doing this on the 2nd of April. But of course, because of pre-scheduled videos, it won't appear till Friday. So I know I've got the forgiveness of the YouTube. I was going to say gods, but that's stretching it. Anyway, this is a fun collaboration that's easy, typically easy to remember and easy to do. I'm going to blame it on my trip and my belated birthday shindig and April Fool's Day. And is that enough excuses? So, the April prompt is spring. And with most of our snow gone, it is easier to start thinking in that way. Now, I have sort of started one project. I've got all kinds of stuff spread around here. I began reconfiguring my workspace yesterday. So if I'm lost, that'll be the reason for that. Okay, now I have to warn you ahead of time. I could sound like a broken record about this cutter. I am so in love with it. I'm so enamored with how handy it is. And now that I've figured out a way to keep it near me, I find that I'm using it all the time. And I didn't throw away my little garbage because I wanted to show you how, look at this. I was able to take that much off something. So I think it's the cat's meow, to be honest. Anyway, so let me tell you what I'm doing here. This is part of a digital from Kim Newberg. And of course, it's beautiful and the colors are lovely. And show me a person who doesn't love butterflies. And I had, I intended to fussy cut these guys. But that would be a bit onerous. So I thought, okay, I'm working on a purple journal or more. Why don't I use these because of the colorway? So I'll show you what I've done so far. And you may also be able to see that I have scraps going on. This is cardstock, this is lighter, this is cardstock. I have this piece, so you can see that all of these things kind of go together. And of course, I didn't, as much as I love the cutter, I didn't want you to have to watch every single move I make. So I've done some pre-steps on it. Again, look how close these things are. I have been able to cut strips off here without decapitating any wings. No, I guess that doesn't, without clipping any wings. So what I've done is I cut a strip off butterflies. I had this scrap piece of wallpaper. I think that design is called Quatrefoil. And I thought, okay, because I seem to be into matting things lately, using my seedless preserves, I inked around the digital, and then because it was a pure white background, I also kind of just touched my brush to it in places. I matted it on a strip of that wallpaper, and then I thought, well, okay, I can do more. I can layer more. I had this piece of paper, and I thought, okay, why don't I lay some ribbon under there? Or some lace, I mean. Now, this was lovely ribbon that was in a floral arrangement I got for my birthday, but of course, too narrow. This is a ribbon that I have loved, and I've shown it to you before. This would have been lovely, but again, too narrow. So rather than just keep looking and looking and looking for wide enough ribbon and blah, 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 I decided to look for a flat lace that was wider. And again, maybe I'm a bit anal, but I also wanted one that was symmetrical on each side, like not scalloped on one side and straight on the other. And this is what I came up with. So what I'm going to do now is, and I guess the other thing I did to make life somewhat easier is I cut a little extra on the lace, and I did my gluing onto whatever it was. So glued it onto the wallpaper, glued the lace onto there, rather than cutting a strip off and then hoping that it works out. So I am just going to take my art glitter glue, attempt to center this side to side and top to bottom, and get that glued down. We will trim it off and then see what, if anything, else it needs. Now I'm a little bit generous with this art glitter glue, simply because it's kind of a vinyl-y, well, you know what wallpaper's like at the back. And hopefully that doesn't really ooze out too much. Okay, so I'm going to turn it so it's easier for me to see. Again, centering side to side, top to bottom. Because, you know, with art glitter glue, typically you've got only one chance. Oh, maybe it doesn't seem to really be wanting to grab that well. I've got this thing, but I'll do it on the back side. I hope that you are well. I hope that you had a good Easter if you celebrate that, and didn't get sucked in by any April Fool's jokes. Okay, that seems like it's grabbed. Now, I think that I've glued this down, the lace down. That looks pretty straight to me. So what I'm going to do now is attempt to get the same width. Maybe it would be easier to do it this way. Same width on the other side. Now that little bit of lace that's poking out doesn't exactly help matters. The other thing that you know, you can kind of see where the blade is going to make contact with the paper. But the other thing to remember to use are these grid lines along the side. So sometimes if the thing you're cutting is quite narrow, it's using this little stopper at the top. You could still have your paper could still be kind of askew because there's so little surface making contact with that guide. So again, from the school of, you know, maybe bigger is better, I'm going to just go a hair past the 2-inch mark. Now there are more, there are eighths on here. Oh yeah, I guess there are eighths on here too. Oh, there are 16ths on here. That's the difference. Okay, that's going to be too wide. So if I do that, it should be good. And again, I realize that not everybody is going to be as picky about that as I am. Now, it seems still don't have total grip on here. I can live with this. It may not. If we pulled out our micrometers to measure, we might find that it is out a hair. But we're not going to do that because we're not totally insane. Maybe a little insane, but not totally. Okay. Now, because the paper, the digital, was 8.5, I trimmed it top and bottom. The overall thing, and I'm just talking cardstock now, is 8.5 inches, which for the average size journal is going to make it too tall. However, I was envisioning this as a bookmark, more than like a belly band or something like that. I'm glad I didn't go with any bulkier lace because I think that would have been harder to get nice and flat. So I'm just going to, well, I think I'm just going to cut it flush with the bottom of the paper. Now, of course, this could be further embellished. And in sticking with the theme for April, spring, I think that butterflies are springy, and that's and that's what I'm doing there. Now, I did bring my what do you call it? Crocodile here, and a few brads and a few eyelets, thinking, okay, maybe I will want to do something more. Oh, this was the lace I used, by the way. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Let's just set this aside so I have time to show you the other one that I have in progress. So, I showed you this paper. Okay, what was I planning here? Am I getting myself confused? I have this. I think I was planning to glue this guy down here and then cut it out and then glue it onto there. Was that the plan? I think so, yeah. It's been 15 minutes. You can't expect me to remember everything. Jeez. Okay. Now, I brought my corner rounder out as a reminder to myself that on this one, I want to round these little corners on every layer. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, of course, this would be the time to do any inking. What I intended to do differently here, but, well, maybe I'll just keep that until I... Should I pull out my... Let's try this stays on and see how beautiful it might be. I think that's the only purple I have in this brand. And again, you know, there isn't a great deal of purple here, but we can make it more purple by what we do here. So I'm just barely touching the edge, just to give it that little teeny bit of, you know, a little indication that, hey, there is another layer here. Oh, it's kind of from nothing to a thicker line, but that way we know it's hand done, don't we? Since I've been home, I've been trying to play catch up. I don't know if it's common knowledge that I'm going to be a guest seller on Angela, the Traveling Crafters live sale on April 11th. So let's just say I've been working my butt off, figuring out what to sell, and of course getting organized, because in order for the sale to keep moving along and, you know, being respectful of everyone's time, there is a lot of setup, pre-planning, bundling, record keeping that goes on prior to and behind the scenes. So I hope to be invited back again, so I don't want to be the one to kind of throw things off kilter. Now that is very dark. Now I wonder, do I dare? I guess because I don't know if you saw that, because I kind of did that off on that scrap paper, it probably made it less, you know, in your face than if I'd have glued it straight. I mean, if I would have touched the brush straight to the paper. Okay, so first things first, let's glue this down. Should bring that handy. Oh, welcome to my channel. Okay, I'm going to, yeah, let's use this just for a little speed. And I guess maybe what I could have done better on the last one is run my bead of glue along the edge and worry less about the middle, because the middle is not going anywhere if the edge is glued down. Anyway, I just wanted to say that if you're looking for a desktop portable little paper cutter, I can't say enough good stuff about this one. And if you saw me when after I first got it, whatever video that was, to me, the total selling feature is the fact that it's a self-sharpening blade. Okay, again, we're trying to, now because I know how much space I have top and bottom, I'm trying to gauge that space on the side so that I don't end up having to trim and then take off too much here and then have to adjust here and here and here. Again, it's not the end of the world, but if I did make a blunder like that, and was really offside and, you know, didn't want to keep putzing at it to get it just so, then another option is to have your decorations, whatever else, you know, whether it's washi or ribbon or seam binding or another paper, whatever, to have that asymmetric so that, you know, you sort of disguise the unevenness of it. And then again, maybe you don't care about that. Okay, so now, critical, remember, do the corners. See, I'd say that, oh, yeah, that side is definitely wider than the other. I will say that it, you know, you either have to let go of some of those preconditioned ideas about how, oh, I don't think I can live with that. Let's see if I can just take a little sliver off. So, of course, that's going to then affect my corner rounding. I think it takes a bit of getting used to, in the sense that, whoopsie, that, you know, as much as you think you know how much is going to come off, see, that's better, much better. Recut the corner. Recut the corner. And look at, I can just set this over here and it's still within reach. Oh. Okay, so what I wanted to do differently on this one is this was a scrap of ribbon that was in some bundle that I got when I was thrifting in Winnipeg, or in Manitoba, and I don't know which, oh, it was this one I think I cut off. So I thought if I sort of embed this between the two layers, I have a built-in tab that's not going to show, whoops, not going to show on the back side. Oh, I guess I should be doing a wee bit of, sorry about this, you know how I feel about inking on camera. Let's start down here. I always start in the upper right-hand corner. Do you know that to ward off, I don't know, maybe it's a placebo effect, but to ward off, you know, the dementia, the decay that sometimes happens to brains as we age, you're supposed to change up your routine. So in other words, if you have the favorite route that you always drive when you go to town, or, you know, to certain shops or whatever, change it up. Don't use the same, you know, path every time. That apparently helps, you know, keep us on our toes and so on. So who knows? Maybe the same thing applies to crafting. I have to say, I used to sit on the local public library board here. In fact, I was a chair for a time there. Anyway, sometime, I don't remember what year that was, but Lisa Genova, who is an actual brain scientist, wrote her first novel called Still Alice. Now, I read the book. I own the book. I see the book in thrift stores now. And eventually it was turned into a movie with, oh, she's that redheaded. Oh, I love her, but what is her name? It might come to me. Okay. Oh, don't forget to embed the ribbon. Now, anyway, Still Alice. So the woman in the book, Alice, is also a brain scientist, a neuroscientist. And so, of course, brains are important to her, as they are to all of us. And she was a professor. And she started noticing that she was having these gaps in her memory and her whatever, you know, was finding difficulty doing some of the things she'd been doing before. And I guess she realized what was happening to her. So she came up with this plan that she put it on her computer, basically, that if she, you know, if she can no longer do this, this, and this, you know, she was going to have to take some action. And I'm telling you, that book is so poignant and so, like, it hits you in the heart, because of course none of us know what lies ahead for any of us, but also because the very thing that she was putting in place to help her if she reached that point, of course, you know, she wasn't capable of using when the time came. And I hope that's not a spoiler. I hope I didn't spoil that for you. But I'm telling you, you should read the book. If you think about your brain or know know somebody who might be going through that. Okay, sidetrack. So this is the ribbon. And first of all, before I turn it on the camera, I thought, oh, I should square these things off. And then I stopped myself because I'm thinking that would make a very hard and straight line. This way, if I sort of if I offset these two pieces and leave them sort of feathered like this, it will be less noticeable. So I looked, but this is green. I looked for some brads. Here's a lovely little purple one. I have a couple of white eyelets, because of course, if I only have one, that means that I would probably bend it. And this way I have one to fall back on. This is a fabric covered one that is more the right side. This is really cute. So it too is an eyelet, but it's so gigantic, and it says too cute to handle. However, I don't think that I really have the space. Like, that becomes pretty tall. So I think I have to save this for something else. Anyway, I think that the first thing I should do, wonder what would work better. I could glue this onto here, then do the, do I want an eyelet or do I want a grown, or what should we call it, a brad? Maybe there are more possibilities with, okay, it doesn't have to be that tall or that high, I mean. So if I put a grommet, sort of offset it, then something could be attached, you know, a little bead dangle or something. So let us, so then this is too long. I could trim this piece of ribbon down. Yeah. Again, just not because I'm going to be able to do anything so great with this, but because just kind of chewing away at that, it will reduce the bulk. I think I'm going to change my mind and do the grommet first. So I've kind of staggered that a bit. I'm cutting the hole. Ooh, that wasn't so great. Maybe if I would have glued it. Wonder if that's going to cover well enough. I guess not bad. I don't know, can you see? Okay, I have to say, I bought this because, like back in the day, because I thought, oh my goodness, that is the cat's meow. And then I tried using it, and I was so confused because these are inches. There are 4 different things here. This thing spins around. There are quite often, well, especially in Canada, the packaging for eyelets is in metric, so millimeters. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what is the right combination? So for the longest time, I wasn't blaming myself, of course. I was blaming the tool and thinking, oh, what the heck? And was thinking, oh my goodness, why does this look so easy? Let me stand when others are doing it, and so impossible when I'm doing it. I don't really like the way this turned. Oh, I don't like that this eyelid is coming out. Okay, second fallback eyelid. What did I tell you? We have more ribbon. This time, we're going to glue this ribbon together so that it becomes a little more a unit, a little more stabilized when I... Now, do I care that it's a little crooked? Yes, I guess I do. So let me straighten it. Sorry if I've pulled that out of your view. Okay, now I, of course, risk gumming up my crocodile. So we're going back to the 3/16. I don't know, I guess we can't really afford to wait until this actually dries enough, but maybe I'll just clean up my workspace a bit. Give it a few seconds. And of course, you know, there are all kinds of ways to do a bookmark, to decorate once you've got it to... Oh, I will need my favorite little cutter again. What do you think? Should I try? Should I try? Should I try? What's the worst that can happen? She asked naively. I wonder if I should put something a little firmer underneath. This is something, who knows what this might be. It's one of those, you can have it if you can name it things. And I'm just doing this, or should I put it in between? That's probably overkill, but anyway, okay. No problemo, cut. Oh my goodness, I ruined another one. Because I didn't see what I was doing. It looked fine here, but I was... Oh. Okay, let's peel this off. Oh, look how well it's stuck. This is my third and final attempt. If this doesn't work, then it wasn't meant to be. Okay. Let's forget the glue, because that clearly didn't even hold the ribbon together. Let's use this cardboard thing again. But now I can see, can you see kind of where the top of that is? So if I'm down here, I should be fine. Still cuts very poorly. And again, it's not the crocodile's fault. I'm sure it's the nature of the ribbon. But maybe it's a little less ragged than the first time I did this. Slide this over to the over here where it's in the eyelet setting mode. I sure hope, let me just see, they have, oh, you know what? I bet you I didn't have the right, see, I shouldn't have shown you guys that. No, that's number 3. There's a fine little, aren't you loving my demo of this? Okay, there's number 1. I believe it's number 1 that I should have had there. There are 4 different, okay, hopefully that will do better. That's just because I was telling you how proficient I've become at this. And trust me, normally it isn't this painful to do or to watch. Surely to goodness, I'm not the first person who's tried to put an eyelet into ribbon. Okay, I've got it on that little nipple type thing. Stand up. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. Okay, back to the project at hand. So now we know that, well, no, I should glue it onto this, then we'll worry about centering it on there. Maybe this is a job for Fabri-Tac. And I did fill my bottle, and I did add some acetone to thin it. So I'm going to remove some of this bulk. That's probably not going to work. You've never seen anyone cut themselves right on live and on camera, have you? I'll leave that as it is. Okay, so let's make sure we get this facing the right way. So we want the glue on this side. And again, it would have been a lot easier just to glue this at the back of the final product, but I wanted to try this. I should put a wee bit here because there's really nothing holding these 2 pieces together other than the grommet eyelet. Oh, I rearranged. Where did I put my garbage can? Okay. So now we are going to, now sometimes I've made the mistake of waiting to round the corners till it's too late to get into the particular area. But I think I have to take a chance that it'll work. And if it doesn't, I'll do it by hand. Oh, we need it to be like so. Okay. You know what I think I'm going to do in this case? The opposite of what I said earlier. Where is my pencil? Is this a pencil? Yes. Okay, earlier I said I was gluing everything down, then trimming. In this case, I can't afford to do that because, so I think I want this about here. So I'm going to cut it. Uh-oh, this is too long. I guess that is the only downfall to this little cutter. However, if it were any bigger, like if it cut, you know, it's 9 inches, so it easily cuts the 8.5 side. If it were, I'm just going to roughly take about that much off. It gives me a little extra. If it were any bigger, then it wouldn't be as portable as it is. Okay, tell you the reason for all this. I want to be, oh, I didn't do my original thought. Yeah, let's do it like so. See what I mean about there's hardly any contact with the little stopper there. So I'm going to, if I have that on the inch mark, I'm going to make sure the bottom is on the inch mark. And then I should be, well, no, I won't be fine because I need to be over. But I can eyeball if I'm a 1/16 of an inch over there, I better be a 1/16 of an inch over there. Okay. The reason I'm going through these extra steps is because I want to be able to, and of course I have enough now that I can make this work, but what I wanted to do is be able to round these corners. What is going on here? Round these corners before I glue anything down and get an obstacle for myself. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep all my margins the same, or all my mat. Let's use this side because then I can erase that pencil mark later. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down like so. I will have to trim a bit at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but okay, this time let's do the perimeter first. I hope if you haven't already done so, I hope that you decide to take part in this challenge, because despite this video, it is really easy to do. Whoa. And of course, there's no prescription as to what you must do. You can do whatever you... Oh, how about some glue in the middle? Jeez. It's like take a few days off from actual crafting and I need to be retrained. By the time I get this done, it'll be drying. Okay, so I am, again, hope you can see, but I think it's, in this case, it's more important that I can see. I am attempting to center it top and bottom, side to side. And my little eyelet, thank goodness, is clearing the top of the card. Maybe we won't look that closely at it. Okay, so I need to shave. And again, would I be doing all this cutting if I didn't have this handy dandy little guy? Perhaps not. And round the corner. And around the corner. And let's do a bit of inking, and we're going to finally call this a video. Now I could have, I suppose, I can get in there. So of course these things, because Mama didn't raise no fool, these things, these bookmarks, or page tab, yeah, bookmarks, I guess, essentially, will work in my purple journals. I only have one, but you know how it goes. So I invite you to tune in. Oh, see, that's not very even. I invite you to tune in on April 11th to the Traveling Crafter live sale. I will have some really, I think, different and interesting things on offer. And I believe that I found a cheaper shipping alternative, so that is going to make a difference as well. It's not quite as scary as we thought. Okay, let's look at these things. I think they're pretty cute. They're different, but they're cute. I wonder, see, this is what I mean. Sometimes you can't get in there, but I think I'm just going to round these guys because I kind of prefer that look. Oh, and I didn't ink this last, oops. I didn't ink this last layer on this one. Yeah, it's just a wee bit harder once you've got paper and lace, and depending how close you've glued things to the edge, sometimes it is, I can't see what's happening in there. Sometimes it's totally impossible to do, and then you have to eyeball it by hand. Okay, I think that makes it nicer. Okay, so of course on this I could put an eyelet in and add some fire. Oh, I did bring this. Oh, that would have been better on this one. Anyway, let's call it a video. Thank you so much for being here. Again, it's Jennifer. Her channel is Scrapbooks and Memories. It's called Ephemera Madness 24. And I think you should take part. Because despite all this, it is fun and easy. So thanks, guys, for being here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.